Hello, fellow readers! Welcome back to the Literary Hype page here on YouTube. I am Stephanie, the Literary Hype Woman, and I'm so excited to have you with me today, especially if this is your first time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stick around, because I'd love to have you around for future videos. If this is a return trip for you, I am thankful that you are willing to spend your time with me and my shenanigans in book world. Today we're going to have a little more fun. We're going to do the mid-year book freakout tag. I was challenged by my friend Kim over at Whimsical Narratives, so if you haven't checked her out, please do. She's a hoot as well. So let's get into it. The first prompt is the best book you've read so far in 2022. So for this one, it was a very close call, but some of the other ones that were almost picked as my best book of the year fit into better other prompts later on, so you will definitely be hearing about them. Don't you worry. Give it a couple minutes. I will tell you. But for this one, I'm going to go with Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. This is the sequel to Finlay Donovan is Killing It, which is about an author who's overheard pitching her story, and someone thinks that she is a hitman and tries to hire her. It's such a great blend of mystery, suspense, a little bit of romance in there, some really great humor, and it's just so realistic and genuine. Well, I wouldn't say realistic. I mean, it's a little bit out there, but realistic in how she portrays Finlay and her struggles as a single mom. So I really enjoy that story, and I'm so excited for the third book to come out in January 2023, or so it's listed right now. Question number 2 is best sequel read so far in 2022. So for best sequel, I am going with Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. If you've been around my Literary Hype Woman blog or Instagram, then you know I'm a Tessa Bailey stan. I love her books. They're steamy, funny, they're just like an enjoyable warm blanket sometimes. Hook, Line, and Sinker is the follow-up to It Happened One Summer, that one's more Schitt's Creek inspired with Alexis. This is the main character's sister, so she gets her own romance adventure with Fox. It is a slow burn, friends to lovers kind of situation, and I really enjoyed getting to see Hannah get her happy ending too. And I'm very excited for whatever Tessa Bailey has next. No questions asked. Question number 3, a new release you haven't read yet. It pains me to say I have not yet read By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. It is a twist on The Beauty and the Beast, so I was very excited about it. I love Jasmine Guillory. I love all of her wedding date series. I just haven't had time to get to this one. I kind of actually forgot I had it for a minute, but now that I remember I have it, I'm going to try to get to it sooner rather than later. But yes, so book I haven't read yet that I want to, new release, By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. Question number 4 is your most anticipated release of the second half of the year. This one is kind of a no-brainer. I'm going with Soulmates by Susan Lee. I got to meet her at YALLFest in South Carolina in November of 2021, and she was such a lovely person, and getting to talk to her a little bit about her book then. Now that it's finally coming out, it's coming out in September. I cannot wait. It is kind of K-drama inspired from what I understand. So I'm very excited to dig into that one. Number 5, your biggest disappointment of the year. Well, I don't often share about books that I don't like. So this is my one for the year. The House Across the Lake. I normally enjoy Riley Sager's work, but The House Across the Lake, it is basically The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Just, instead of watching somebody across the street, they're watching across the lake. I have a full 8-point rant on TikTok and on my blog about why they're basically the same book. So you can check those out for more detail on why I'm so frustrated with this book. But yes, the first 200 pages of The House Across the Lake is The Woman in the Window, and I'm not here for it. I expect more originality. Come on now. Number 6, your biggest surprise of the year. So for biggest surprise, I'm going with Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I don't normally read a lot of sci-fi, just here and there. I'm very particular, very picky about it. But this one I picked up ahead of going to San Diego Comic-Con, since Pierce Brown is going to be there. And I kind of was really into it. It's basically Hunger Games on Mars. There's like a civilization on Mars. But yeah, it gets pretty Hunger Gamesy. I did tune out a little bit in the middle, but there were a lot of twists in the beginning and the end that I was just like, okay, I'm here for this. So I am planning to continue on with that series to see what's next for Darrow. Question number 7 is your favorite new author of the year, and that can be a debut author or new to you. So for favorite new author of the year, I'm going with Anna Gracia, the author of Boys I Know. I really enjoyed this one. It is a coming-of-age story of a girl named June. She is a Taiwanese American growing up in Iowa, kind of feels like an outcast, and struggling a little bit with her relationships. So this kind of follows her senior year of high school and the messes she gets into. But I really enjoyed Anna's writing style, and I also enjoy her as a human being. She's another author I got to meet at Y'all Fest and get to know a lot online, and I just check it out. Just check it out. Just trust me and check it out. New fictional crush. I'm going with Leo from Something Wilder. Something Wilder is another one of those books that was just so close to being my favorite book of the year. It's definitely on that tier. It's a little bit different from Christina Lauren, a little more on the adventure side, a little less on the romance, but I still really enjoyed Leo and Lily's story, especially since Leo let Lily be. He was supportive of her and trusted her to do her thing, and I just really appreciated that he was not smothering her or anything like that. He was just she's got it. Favorite new fictional character. My new favorite fictional character of the year is Lucy from Nothing But the Truth. She is a celebrity publicist who makes a wish and ends up that she can't tell a lie. But more than she can't tell a lie, she also can't do anything that goes against her true nature. So she kind of starts taking a stand for herself. It's like a feminist liar, and it was so refreshing to just be no. I read a character being no, I don't actually want to put on spandex. No, I actually don't want to do that, and stand up for herself. And I really enjoyed it and her journey, and the bartender was also pretty fun in this one. The next prompt is a book that made you cry. I don't normally cry. Not a crier. Especially not about books. But, dadgummit, Simu Liu, you got me with We Were Dreamers. It is a memoir from the guy who played Shang-Chi in Marvel's Shang-Chi. So I was already kind of familiar with his work. I was in the room when he was announced as Shang-Chi. And I did not fully appreciate that moment and what it meant to so many people. I was excited about the other bigger stars that I already knew that were coming down the line and wasn't really paying attention to the new actors that they were announcing. But now in hindsight, seeing what that meant and then reading his experience of getting that call and what he went through to get there, it made me cry multiple times. It's a very real, honest story of how he came from China to Canada and worked his way into Hollywood here in the United States. It's an amazing story. Definitely check it out and probably have some tissues ready. The next prompt is a book that made you happy. For book that made you happy, I'm going with Bright by Jessica Jung. I initially got into this series because of my sister in a way. I won a copy of Shine, which is the first book in this duology, and gave it to my sister, and she was like, you're gonna like this, so I read it just so I could have something to talk to her about. She's very into K-pop, and Jessica Jung is a former K-pop singer. And after reading it, it was very juicy, very soapy, so I was very excited to get my hands on this one. And then for Bright specifically, I had my thoughts on in Shine of, is this her real life, just with fictional names? Bright, I was definitely looking stuff up as I went and going, yep, this is her life, just with fictional names, maybe getting her chance to tell her story. So it made me happy because A, it's just really juicy and fun, and B, it's something I get to talk to my sister about and like connect with her, and I just really enjoy having that kind of opportunity to bond over a shared book. The most beautiful book you bought this year. The most beautiful book I bought this year is Blade Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. It's a hefty book, but the shininess, I just, like, look at how shiny that blade is. That blade that is dripping in blood. There's a lot of little details on this cover, and I really enjoyed the fierce women in this series. It's not something I would normally read, but I love Victoria Aveyard, so I pick up her books, and this one is a beauty on the cover, and it's a signed first edition, so I'm very excited to have that on my collection. The final prompt is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? First off, this question, I feel attacked because my list is already long enough, and then Book Talk and Bookstagram and BookTube are coming up in here, making my list even longer. It's just rude. I have so many books to read. I have like 1 million books that I want to read by the end of the year. Probably not going to happen because I have a finite amount of time, like all of us do. However, since I got to pick one for this video, I am picking Heartbreaker by Sarah McLean. I won this in a Goodreads giveaway, so I'm very excited to have an advanced copy of that. It's the sequel in the Hell's Bells novel series, kind of Regency era, girls getting into trouble, like using their bad reputations to, you know, do some good in the world. So I really enjoyed the first book. I'm very excited to get my little eyes through the pages of this sequel and see what is up with that. Thanks for joining me for the mid-year book freakout tag. I had a lot of fun putting this together and kind of thinking back through all the books that I've read in the first half of 2022. Let me know in the comments what your favorite book of the year so far is and what you're most looking forward to. And if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and stay with me here on Literary Hype Woman. I'd love to have you stick around and get to know you better through the internet. So until next time, thanks for watching.